On this episode of Citizens, we head over to the Halifax Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Society in Halifax, Nova Scotia. We'll learn how this inclusive and forward-thinking society got started, what you can expect to experience as a member, and why there are only a handful of gyms like them in the world. Today, I headed to the Halifax Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Society in the North End of Halifax. I've had a secret interest in the martial art for years now, but had never found the time to visit any of the local gyms. Today would be a first, and I was eager to learn all about this non-for-profit society. First up, I met with Christine, one of the gym's original founders and volunteer instructors.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a grappling martial art, which means that we are trying to get our opponent to the floor, and ultimately we're looking to make them tap.
Could you tell me who Marcelo Garcia is?
Yes, Marcelo Garcia, for those that don't know, is like the Wayne Gretzky of Jiu-Jitsu. He is a multiple-time world champion in the IBJJF and also the ADCC, which is a huge grappling contest open for the whole world. So what makes him unique is that he is an excellent jiu-jitsu practitioner, but also an amazing human being. Mm-hmm. And for us to go through a vetting process to allow our gyms to be associated with him was a huge honor, because we're representing him and his values. And his values are the same as ours, which is, encouraging people to be good human beings on and off the mats, and also working hard and training your best. So we really wanted to create an open, welcome, friendly space where everyone would feel like they could come and train and have a good time. Marcelo Garcia's main gym is in New York City. Okay. And then he has about 16 gyms around the world that are a part of his association, which means that we are all an interconnected web of gyms that support each other. Mm-hmm. And when I compete under his banner. And I'm able to train at his gym under his instruction when I go to New York City a few times a year. And it's just a support network of instructors, teachers, and great people around the world. We have a really great age range, a really great dynamic of people from all backgrounds, including we have lawyers and doctors, and then we have construction workers. It really doesn't matter what you do in your daily life. Mm-hmm. When you step on the mats, we're all equals. We're all here to learn and train, and it's awesome because you meet people you never thought that you would meet.
Do you have a lot of beginners that come here?
We have a large group of beginners, and every week, constantly, new people come through the door to try this sport and martial art out. It's not for everyone. It is close contact, it's sweaty, it's hard work. But the people that do stick around, you end up forming really close bonds and friendships. And I'm still friends and close with some of the people I started with Jiu-Jitsu 6 years ago, because you lean on each other and you support each other and help each other so much.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is known for being more of a gentle form of martial arts. Could you explain that a bit further?
It's called the gentle martial art mostly because it's about control and controlling your opponent. This is a different sport in that you can make it work for any body type. If you are small, there's a game for you. If you're tall, there's a game for you. If you're slow, there's a game. Fast, big, tiny, flexible, inflexible, you can find ways to make the sport uniquely work for yourself. So for girls, it gives them self-confidence in that they know they can handle themselves in a tough situation. We have a lot of females training and girls in our kids program, so they have a camaraderie there. And I think it's fun, and they learn to use their brains and their body together. So it's different than other sports where it's just physical brawn. You have to have a mental brawn as well, so to speak. First week is always free. We never want anyone to sign up for something they don't know what they're getting themselves into. So we encourage people to come as much as they want for the first week. And then we have lots of discounts too, student, military, policing, even families we give a break to, because we would love everyone to train. So yeah, you just walk in, have your gym clothes, hop on the mats, and give it a try.
Why do you think that you've been so successful so fast?
I think a lot of it has to do with our instructors, the vibe that we put off. When people walk into the door, they feel the energy of welcoming. We say hi, we try to say hi within a couple seconds, and we try to be really encouraging.
Next, I had the opportunity to talk with Joel, one of the Society's co-directors. Joel, how did you and Josh go about finding this club?
So about 5 years ago, we went to Marcelo Garcia's in New York City. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu only gym. It's one of the best gyms in the world. And we were lucky to visit. And I remember thinking, like, this is what a Just Jiu-Jitsu gym is like. It was very friendly, welcoming. And like all these guys were working towards the goal of Jiu-Jitsu. And Halifax at the time didn't have that. It was like Jiu-Jitsu, martial arts, kickboxing, all that stuff. But I was like, man, I want to create somewhere where we can just focus on Jiu-Jitsu and all have the same goal in mind, like-minded Jiu-Jitsu players that want to compete and create a friendly environment like that.
Yeah, and your partnership with Josh, how did that influence the creation of the society?
We just had the same goal in mind. We've both been to Marcelo's a lot, and I just always said, man, I want to have my own gym someday. For a while, I thought I was gonna have to maybe go to my hometown and do it. I didn't think I'd be able to do it in Halifax, but as time went on, I got more experience in Jiu-Jitsu, more practice in the sport, and I felt confident enough that I could create something in a bigger city where people would want to come. And Josh, we just were talking one day, and he said, I have a similar goal.
Could you tell me why you and Josh decided to make this a non-for-profit organization?
I think the main goal with that was just to show people our intentions. It wasn't to fill our pockets, it's to build the community, build the sport, build a good space for people to come train, and just, it's out there, like it's advertised as non-for-profit because it's like, this is for you guys, We use a lot of our money to try to bring people in from New York because I'm not the best, but I want to give you the best. So any money we get, we usually try to fly our buddies in from New York who are very talented. We're trying to bring in black belts from all over the world whenever we can. So I think that's the easy answer without getting into the logistics and all that stuff. But yeah, just to have that transparency, like, hey, we're here for you guys.
Next up on Citizens, we talk with volunteer head instructor and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Josh Presley. And we get a chance to meet the gym's other co-director as he instructs one of the more advanced classes. Instructors who volunteer their time to teach and support their members in a non-for-profit gym that welcomes and encourages all. Halifax Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Society is a welcoming place for individuals of all levels. To learn more about some of the higher level classes, I spoke with Josh Presley, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and the gym's head instructor.
My career with Jiu-Jitsu started probably 12 years ago. When I was 17 years old, still in high school. I started at a local gym, not the gym that we're at now, but trained there. I got most of my belts, all of my belts from there actually. And it's been an awesome journey. I've been a really active competitor, and I'd say Jiu-Jitsu has really changed my life. For everyone, I'd say Jiu-Jitsu really encourages positive changes, When I was a teenager, I was quite overweight. I was probably like 210 pounds. I'm like 155 now. But I actually didn't lose weight through Jiu-Jitsu. I was kind of just encouraged by watching some UFC and martial arts movies and different sports and stuff, and I kind of wanted to just make a life change. Okay. So getting my black belt it's a long journey. When you start out, the average path to black belt is probably like 10 or 12 years. Like you get a belt probably like every 2 to 3 years, depending on how much you train and stuff like that. So I mean, I started when I was pretty young, 17, so I'm 29 now. So I always thought man, to be a black belt, you probably have to be really old. I had this picture of Yoda in my head, I'll get to that point eventually,
Yeah. Is the non-for-profit aspect of this gym important to you, and why?
Yeah, not having a not-for-profit is I think really, really cool, and having more people volunteer. I feel like then you can kind of see where people's heart is really in it if they're willing to put up their time for free.
Yeah, for sure. After observing some of the more advanced classes, I got the chance to talk with another one of the gym's co-directors, Josh Whalen. I wanted to find out where the idea to open the gym as a society came from, and ultimately where he wanted to see the organization go in the future. Josh, where did the idea to co-found the society come from?
Both myself and Joel were getting really into the sport, and we really wanted more opportunity to train. And we found that a lot of the gyms in the city are mixed martial art gyms, or they have other activities taking place, which kind of limits your ability to train in one sport. And so we really just wanted a space that we could focus on our art and keep it like a singular focus where we could train 2-3 times a day on what we want to do.
How did you get other volunteers involved?
That's a good question. I think we had a vision of what we wanted to do, and I think other people believed in our vision really early on. When we first started, I think we had 4 to 6 volunteer instructors, and it slowly grew over time as people join the team and they see what we're about, and then they are really excited to jump on board, and we're excited to have them help out.
How does it make you feel to know that you guys are such an inclusive group here?
It makes me feel really good. As one of the directors, I'm really excited to have input and kind of be like the captain of the ship, so I get to set the tone, set the vibe.
Have you found that it's been a rewarding experience for you?
Absolutely, in more ways than I would have expected. When I first opened the gym, I was really just looking for a place for me to train, so a little bit of a selfish interest. I wanted to really push myself, but I didn't really realize how teaching others would really affect my own training. Obviously, I get to affect other people and give them lessons, but also it forces me to kind of look at my own technique. It's no longer good enough to just be able to do the technique. I have to understand the why and what it is that I'm doing. So I have to take a deeper understanding of my own movements in order to explain that to a new student in a way that they can learn. So not everybody learns the same way, so I'm also learning how to become a better teacher by finding what the student needs. Is it watching me do a technique? Is it having them do the technique and fail a few times? Is it me hands-on, grabbing their hand and putting on this is the leg I want you to grab? So it's been a really good experience for me, and definitely it helps not just my students, but myself get better at the art.
What do you think is the most unique part about this place?
The most unique part about this gym, in the city at least, is that it's the only jiu-jitsu only martial arts gym. So traditionally, jiu-jitsu's kind of has a place at these clubs that have lots of other arts going on, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But there is something really cool about the fact that we get to focus on one art. So anybody that walks in the door that's in this club, they're here for a reason and they share a common goal. So we can all really brings us tighter together, where at some spots there's a little bit of animosity between the two, the so-and-so class is here, we have to move off the mats, whereas now, everybody's here for the same reason, so it really gets a tighter group.
Mm-hmm. And what's it like to be a part of the Marcelo Garcia Jiu-Jitsu Association?
It's unbelievable. When we first started to get that in place, it was almost like a dream. I've been visiting Marcelo's for years. He's one of the greatest instructors and such an amazing club with an amazing atmosphere. When we first started talking about whether we could affiliate with them, I was like, that would just be an amazing dream. Maybe it's too good to be true. But talking to Marcelo, and he really liked us and liked what we were about, and so he was really excited to have us on board, and it's just a dream come true, absolutely.
Eventually, where do you hope to see the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Society go?
That's a very good question. I find with myself, I always set my goals too small. So when I first opened the gym, I was like, how cool would it be to win a team trophy? And then our first competition, we won one. So I was like, okay, we need to set our sights higher. So right now, we want to push our students to compete internationally as well. We just had one of our students that has moved to Toronto, and she just won the New York Open gold, and she just won Worlds at white belt. So it's really exciting to see our students excel on the world stage. So the sky's the limit. We're going to take this international.
Yeah, awesome. And can I just ask about the black eye?
So we had a new student come in, and obviously they don't quite know how to roll yet. So the odd need of the eye kind of is what happened there.
But it's just a casual thing here.
Yeah. So injuries are kind of part of the sport, and it kind of defines you in jiu-jitsu because once again, we're trying to meet realism. So the problem with that is that there's a great chance for injury. So what makes jiu-jitsu so effective is that we get to roll with full resistance, like as true to a real fight as possible, while reducing the techniques that cause a lot of injury. So we don't strike, we don't poke eyes, we don't pull at the face, but we can still get the true chaos of a fight. And within that chaos, there's going to be moments where, bumps and sprains are going to take place.
Right.
But it's all part of the fun.
Yeah, awesome, thanks.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, so you're turning away when you go
So,
back.
to the neck, base, hook, rotate around, and throw over the foot. Yeah, you got it.
Next up on Citizens. Josh shows me the ropes of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as I get my first martial arts lesson.
Block my foot here with the left, and then drag me over it.
Which way?
To this side here, yeah.
My favorite part is how everybody here is really nice and the environment's really nice and it's not too strict.
I've been at this club for about a year and a half, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite part?
I like how welcoming everyone is and how much of a team it is. There's no cliques or anything. It's if you're new, you walk in the door, you're greeted by somebody, which is super cool.
This is my very first class, so it was a great first experience.
Anyone who's oh, I want to do martial arts, oh, that's so cool. I'm man, come to our gym. It's amazing, so yeah.
Absolutely, I would definitely come back. Yeah, I would definitely want to come back to get my fundamentals and level up.
After talking with Josh about the more advanced classes, I was eager to step in and have my very first lesson in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I guess the first thing I should know about how to do Jiu-Jitsu is how to put on my belt, so could you teach me?
Sure. So in Jiu-Jitsu, we have two basic styles of training. One will be in the gi, which is what we're wearing now, comes from a Japanese tradition called a do-gi, or no gi, where we wear athletic shorts and rash guard top. Now the two different styles of way to train, we recommend starting out in a gi. It slows things down a bit, gives you some grips, and gets you started. So when we start, we're gonna have to do our belt up. So first thing we'll do is tuck a lapel under, put the other one over, and we'll find the middle of our belt. There's a few different ways that people tie it, but the way that I like is to find the middle of the belt and put that just a little bit to the left. And put that right here on your waist. Now we're gonna work it around, but as you'll see, I'm gonna fold my right hand under my left. So my left will go over top. And then I'm gonna work it around so that when I'm in the front, I'll end up like this.
The front on the side?
Yeah.
Like here?
So one should be over and one should be under.
This.
Yeah, so we'll just tuck that under there, exactly. So once we're here, the one that's over is gonna go from under to over.
Under both?
Yeah, under both and coming up the top. So we get something that looks a little like this, exactly. Now we're gonna take this top piece and just hold it across.
Okay.
And then the bottom one is gonna come over and under. And we get a nice pretty knot. Something that we see a lot with beginners is they do this one here, the up down, the north side. So you'll know if you get this one wrong, you just gotta untie it and try again the other direction. And right there, you got an awesome belt, you're good to go.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so in Jiu-Jitsu, we spend a lot of time on the ground. So we'll start down the ground and we'll start with some basic movement. So the first thing I like to show anybody when doing Jiu-Jitsu is how to get up properly. So you can imagine if I have an adversary standing over me, I don't want to just kind of get up like this. It offers a lot of exposure. So I need to have a frame. So we'll start by putting one hand behind us so that we can't get knocked down, and then the other hand up in front of us. Right. Cool. So we're going to use our opposite foot and our opposite hand. So the hand that we have on the ground, our opposite foot is going to be planted on the ground here. Then we're going to pick up our hip. So right now I'm on my opposite foot, opposite hip.
Actually, you do this.
Exactly, yeah. Just mirror me here. Just get your hips floating. That's it.
Okay.
Now, we want to, in jiu-jitsu, it's a lot about distance management. So we don't want our opponent getting too close to us that they can kick. So I can try to just kick out at the shin, and then I'm going to bring this leg through my hand and feet in behind me, like this. And then come up with my hands out.
Okay.
So we're gonna start down the ground, one hand down, opposite foot, opposite hand, make the hips light, kick out with this one, and then bring it back behind you. That's it, then come up with both your hands in front of you, very good. So we're gonna combine this now because we got one movement to get up. Let's talk about movements getting down. So there's something that's called the break fall. In jiu-jitsu, the whole concept is to get your grips, get a takedown, pin, and then use a submission. So we need to know how to get to the ground safely. Now, the human reaction is to brace for impact. I don't know if you've ever done any snowboarding, you're starting to fall, you go, I'm gonna cause a lot of pain to my joints, or elbow, boom. So we have to learn how to break fall and how to roll. Okay. So the first break fall we'll learn is a back break fall. So what I'm gonna do is have my feet side by side, I'm gonna have my arms out here, and I'm gonna tuck my chin and start to squat down. As I round my back out, tucking my chin, I'm gonna sit down on my butt and I'm gonna roll on my spine. As soon as my shoulders touch, I slap out on the ground, and then I can rock back up.
Okay.
So, tuck your chin, start to squat down, roll around your spine, and slap out. Boom, yes, very good. And then how do we get up? Back on the opposite foot, opposite hand, kick.
Oh, wrong.
That's it.
Sorry, I think we're going the other way. Oh, my bad. Okay.
It's okay. Kick and bring that leg back through, and then come up. Very good. And so there's no shame in struggling at first. I mean, whenever we start anything new, we have to put some practice in. So we're just going to do some reps. Make sure we tuck our chin so we're not hitting the back of our head in the ground. We'll go down, roll, big slap, and then we'll rock back up. Opposite hand, opposite foot, kick, and back up. Very good. One more time.
Yep.
Down, round. Very good. And back up. Kick.
Oh, let's forget the kick. Okay.
And come up. So put one knee on the ground and one knee up. Mm-hmm. This side hand is going to be here, and this hand will just be here. This one will shoot through, and we're just going to turn our head and roll all along this arm from this shoulder to the opposite hip. It's going to look like this.
Okay. Okay, we're doing it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Boom, not bad.
Then we got into some more serious moves, and Josh showed me some basic self-defense.
And circle around. So, you ready?
Okay.
All right, so as I throw the jab, this hand is gonna cup the elbow. You're gonna move your head to that side and just push it out of the way, and then come in close and get a wrap up around the waist. Boom. Exactly. This one's stepping up right next to mine, and you're gonna sit down on this leg, but drag me over the tripping leg. So block my foot here with the left, and then drag me over it.
Which way?
To
left?
this side here, yeah. So, boom, down I go. Exactly.
Okay.
And then to get to the mount, we're just gonna use this motion here. As they fall, this foot here just steps over. Boom, and we end up in the mount. I throw a jab, push it out of the way, get to the back, trip the leg, drag me down until the mount. Yes, and then pin me down, look at that. Now I'm in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Nice work.
Cool.
Good job.
Thanks. While I didn't get into any of the more serious mat work, I had a great time just learning some of the basics with Josh. With such a welcoming atmosphere, supportive instructors, and a focus on having fun, I know I'd feel at home attending a class any day of the week. I can't wait to come back and see how this wonderful community-oriented gym flourishes under the guidance of such caring individuals.